Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. So excited to hang out this evening. Go ahead and grab whatever it is that you need to get comfortable and cozy this Wednesday evening, and I'll see you back here in about 30 seconds. I'm really excited to hang out tonight. I probably can't swing it too late tonight, but we'll see what happens. I'll try my best. A few quick announcements before we kick off for this evening. We do have our job fair happening this weekend. And I believe the deadline was just extended. So make sure you're checking out all that information on our website. But this is a great opportunity if you are looking for other options for next school year. So I wanted to give you guys that quick update. We also want to remind you about Adelicia's Family and BPAC Information Series. These are free offerings in English and Spanish. These are all virtual through Zoom, and they're offered multiple times during the day and evening. And this series for this particular time is dedicated to students with IEPs. So this is really, really helpful for our families, especially when we serve duly identified students. So I would make sure you just share that information. It's all on our website, but make sure you share that information with your student services teams as well, just so we make sure we're breaking down those silos, right? We always talk about that. But it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to connect and equip families with lots of really great information. And then finally, I'm going to talk about it because I always do. EmpowerCon is back, and I cannot wait for this. We've got our 3 dates happening this summer. We've got Normal, Wheeling, and Palos Hills. Registration is now open. I'm so excited about it. And we have already been having all kinds of meetings to get all of that ready and planned, and already brainstorming some really, really fun sessions. So I'm when you get something in your brain and then you're just so excited about it, you can't turn it off. That's what's happening right now for EmpowerCon. I'm super pumped about it. Again, as I'm brainstorming all the sessions, and as the other specialists, my teammates are brainstorming theirs, we've got a lot of good energy, y'all. A lot of really fun energy. So make sure you get registered today and save your spot, and then send it to a teammate too, because it's going to be awesome, and it's free, and it's in person, and it's like summer vibes, right? So we're all feeling good. We're all feeling energized, and you'll be able to equip yourself and get ready for next school year. So that is coming up. Invite a friend. Come hang out. We're going to have a great time. All right. So let me go ahead and hide those little guys. Okay, perfect. So tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about some energizers. Now, this time of year, I get more excited in March. I don't like my winter self. She is sad. She is tired. I feel like Eeyore all summer long or all winter long. But now that it's March, I do feel a little bit more optimistic. I was just in the district last week, and I was saying, we're still kind of in that window of survival. It's like a crawl right now to spring break. And hopefully you have a spring break to look forward to, even if you're not going anywhere, right? Just having that break, having a few days to just breathe. But I will say, the exhaustion is still there. The to-do lists still there, still climbing, right? But I feel a little bit more optimistic. And I know as folks have been excited to send back all of their access testing materials, we also know that there's other tests that we have to administer and all of that. So it's still a draining time, right? But it feels a little more optimistic. Spring forward. That's this weekend, right? Where we change the clocks again. So more sunlight. I'm always down for that. Hopefully an upcoming break soon on the calendar somewhere. That's good. But yeah, springtime weather just makes me feel so good. How about this weather this past weekend? Wasn't that wonderful? We were able to open up windows in our house, and I was just like, oh, like it was glorious. It was still kind of windy, but I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care. I will take the wind. It's like to walk around without a coat on. That's delightful. That's delightful for me. And so we can talk about energizers. Now, when I talk about energizers, I want to hit like two different lenses here. I want to talk about teacher-facing energizers and then student-facing energizers, because it's both, right? Like we still need to find joyfulness and happiness in what we do, even though we know maybe it's still a season of survival. We still have really long to-do lists, and it's just a lot. It's draining, right? So let's start with the teacher-facing energizers. Now, for some of these, you might want a teammate, or you could just try it on your own, or we could be your teammate. Just add it to the comments. But I am going to, and maybe I'll make this into like a graphic or something. Let me figure it out. I'll see what I can do. But I want to kind of help us and help each other kind of create those little moments where we find joy. Now, again, sometimes the joy is just like, I just want to teach. I just want to like see my groups regularly and not have to give them a test every 5 minutes. And that could be the joy, right? Period. Like that could be the source of joy. So yeah, but a few other things we could try if we need to have some more joy. One teacher-facing energizer is that we can issue our own little challenges to each other. So I'm going to share a few ideas, but I would love to hear your ideas in the comments as well. Man, I'm like super swingy today. Did you notice that? I keep like swinging back and forth. I don't know. Maybe it's just that time of day. I'm getting sleepy. So I'm like rocking myself to sleep. Anyway, I go off on tangents a lot this time of day. That's okay though, right? One teacher-facing energizer, and this was an idea that I got from, I don't know if it was TikTok or Instagram, but there is a meteorologist, and I gotta find this guy's name. I don't know his name. I don't know where he's from, but he's a meteorologist on some news station somewhere, and he invites his like TikTok or Instagram followers to give like a song, like lyrics from a song. Or maybe he like has people submit the songs and then he picks different lyrics from it, something like that. But then during his newscast or during his report on the weather, he'll incorporate those little phrases into what he does. And I think that's genius for us. I think that's super fun and playful. It's a fun way for us to play with language and then get creative too. So that could be something that we do with each other, is like, here's your song lyric to incorporate into your instruction this week. And again, it's just like light and playful. But I think it's also like, it could be a student energizer as well, depending on like the song lyric, or you could do the phrase too. I guess it doesn't have to be tied to a song or a movie line or something like that. And maybe that stays up somewhere on the board and we try to incorporate it into conversations about academic content. I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny and silly. But it also gets us thinking creatively, right, about how we can pull that and drop it somewhere fun. So that is one challenge that you might issue to a friend. The second challenge is a sentence stem challenge. And I ended up doing this because I got called out very lovingly and very playfully by a colleague who said, Carly, your stems are like so boring and you use the same ones for science and social studies and read, like for everything, mix it up a little bit. And so then I started to change up my stems. So instead of saying like, it surprised me when, I would change it. So then it said like, I was utterly flabbergasted when, or I was completely bewildered upon realizing, right? So I'm taking that stem, that sentence stem, to linguistically support students, but I'm also stretching out the language of everybody, right? So it's kind of applying some like sparkle and fun to our sentence stems. But again, it's still very intentional, right? Because again, it's a language stretcher. It's not just a scaffold, it's also a stretcher. So you might issue a STEM challenge with a teammate or a colleague. Now, if you are an administrator, you might even say, hey, we're going to try this as a department across our schools. And I want y'all to submit through this like Google link, like what's the wildest STEM that you are using this week? And everyone submits them to a coach, coordinator, director, whoever, principal, anybody. And then they like pull a name and they win a raffle prize or something. But again, it's just playful. It's fun. It helps us get a little bit creative. And again, that is a great linguistic support too. So love, love, love that. I want to say I had 2 other challenges. Let me see. The STEM challenge, the sneaky phrase challenge. Oh, the creativity challenge. So this is one I know that I've talked a lot about before. Let me see if I have it. Okay. I have this like little case. Isn't this cute? It's like a little magnet, but I stick it to my little lockers that I have in the back there. Anyway, so this could be anything. You go to the Dollar Tree, you go to the Target dollar spot, whatever, and you just find like a random item. So this is one of my favorite random items, and I found this. It's like a tic-tac-toe game, or is that what you call it? I don't know the name of it, or the Connect 4 or something like that. But this is like a Connect 3. It's like a little tiny mini one. Look how cute this is! Isn't that precious? Anyway. You would find a random item from the store and you would give it to like somebody you work with and say, I want you to see if you can incorporate this into your instruction next time, you know, you're teaching science or whatever it is. But it just gets us kind of creative. You could also have this be a student facing challenge too, like a creativity challenge. So like, I want, you know, we've been studying this topic for about 2 weeks now, and now I'm going to drop a random item on your desks. And together with your partner or group, you have to teach somebody else this concept using this item. So again, it's just kind of fun. It's playful. It's light. It's still content, right? But it's allowing us to kind of stretch a little bit. So love that as a challenge. I think it could work either way, as teacher facing or student facing, energizing moments. And I think so far, all of these really could be student facing too, right? For our student facing energizers, I think this is a good time of year to try out a few new things. And I think any time of year is really good for that. I always talk about that during winter because we do need more like feel-good chemicals and novelty and stuff like that. But when we are excited to teach something, or when we're excited to have an experience with our students, I think that's always a good thing, right? It's good for everybody. So other student-facing challenges aside from like the STEM, the creativity challenge, you could also have the students do the sneaky phrase challenge, is to incorporate some choice boards. And by this, I mean, like, I'll talk a lot about when I do like cultural competency trainings or in workshops, we talk about like honoring and acknowledging special days with our students. And so some of those days might be a birthday, it might be an adoption day, or it just might be like a milestone or an anniversary of an important day or event, right? Some of our students really are not comfortable. It goes against their beliefs to celebrate their birthday. So again, we want to honor and acknowledge all the different ways that we can celebrate or just highlight little moments throughout the year. It doesn't have to be a birthday. But having a choice board for students to say, like, this is how, like, maybe it's not a birthday because I don't want to celebrate that here at school. Maybe it's just like, I made the soccer team, or I tried something and it didn't work, but I tried it. I tried out for that play. I didn't get the part, but I tried it. That's good. So what are some ways that we can acknowledge you and celebrate you in a way that feels most comfortable? So designing a little choice board. And again, that might be something you co-construct with students. So to kind of list out some potential options for kids. And then that becomes your class or like your period 2 or period 3 choice board for like when something's going well. It could also be like a celebration choice board too. So if I meet my goal for whatever I was doing in science, or if I submitted all my homework on time, and that was like something that was really important to me for my goal right now as a student, whatever our goals are. And when we reach those goals, like, how do we want to be acknowledged or celebrated? And I always share like the making the GIFs on that website, and then it was like.co. I think that's so fun. Or in a positive text message home, or a positive message home, or something like that. So it could be kind of anything, but having students co-construct those, I think sometimes is like a quick, easy little win. Another thing I see a lot of districts doing, and I've seen a few organizations doing them too, is like a bingo challenge. And I think those are really fun too, because you can select all these different things, different like either tasks, challenges, ideas, just again, having it set up in a bingo board format will allow us to just kind of fill it all in, and then keep track of our own like data and like little tasks that were important to us. And then maybe we submit it and we are entered in for a drawing or something like that. I don't know. It could be anything. But I think that could also be a student facing or a teacher facing one, just to get some more good vibes going. Now, again, all of these things are so dependent, especially the teacher ones, on your culture and climate of your school. So you may be like, hey, Carly, this would be so insulting to what my staff has experienced right now. Then don't do it. Y'all know your system best. Like, don't do something that's going to make people upset. But again, like that's always, like we always talk about knowing our students really well. We know our colleagues pretty darn well too, right? So we should take that in. That's important too. But I would love to hear if you have some great either teacher facing energizers, or if you have great student facing energizers, please let us know in the comments so that we can share it with our networks. If you are doing any kind of team or school or district level bingo board or challenge board or anything like that, let us know about it, because that can help us to kind of generate some other ideas of things that we might try out with our systems. But like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and crash a little bit early tonight. But make sure that y'all get registered for EmpowerCon. That's going to be just so much fun. If you are coming to the job fair this weekend, we hope you enjoy. And yeah, keep in touch with us. Oh, and I will say, because a few people have reached out and asked about the LTEL session that Michelle and I did last week, and there was a wait list for it. Stay tuned. We're looking at doing it again. So that's all I can share right now. But stay tuned to our socials, because hopefully we'll be sharing soon. All right. Have a great evening, everybody. Good night.